Are you trying to level up your travel photography? Are you heading to a European city this summer? Not even European cities. What about cities in Asia? Bangkok, Tokyo, Ho Chi Minh City, and more. And you don't want to just come back with just snapshots. You want to curate your shots, tell stories, make something that actually feels like the trip. In this video, I'm breaking down the tips that genuinely helped me improve my travel photography. No fluff, no theory, just practical stuff that works. I'll show you some of my shots that I've taken during my travels, explain what I was thinking, and by the end of it, you'll have a few more tools in your kit to shoot better. Let's get into it. Number 1, the subject needs to be obvious. When I'm in a busy market or a packed alleyway, I don't move from it. I try to lean into the chaos. But here's the trick though. Find one subject and build the composition around that. Let the rest be messy and let it breathe. Naples was a perfect example. I saw this narrow sliver of light hit the street between the buildings and I just waited. Not long, just enough, and a guy on a moped came through and boom, that's it. You don't need to clean the whole scene, you just need to anchor it with just one subject that makes sense. In a busy streets like Naples, it's great to focus on other things as well. The obvious subjects here are the fruits and vegetables. When this is shown with the rest of the set from Naples, it makes sense. It adds to the overall story of this Naples set that I took. And then you notice here that I made the moped driver be the main subject. And even as something as dull as someone like, leaving their laundry to dry on their hangers, it's a good way to tell the viewers the overall scope of what Naples was all about. You get to see basically what life is like for the locals, and with all these photos that I showed, I made the obvious choice. It was intentional. You know who the main subjects are in these sets of photos. This shot right here is pure chaos. Packed streets, tourists, locals, people moving in every direction. I got tons of these in my catalog. And after a while, they start to feel repetitive. The clutter works against you unless you treat them as an establishing shot. You use it to pull people into the scene. You ground the viewers. What you're basically saying is, this is Naples, this is what it's like. And then you follow it up with the cleaner shots, the obvious ones, the focus ones, like the fruits and vegetables, like the moped driver, like the dirty laundry drying out in the balcony. And now suddenly, the chaos has context. Now that's how you build a visual story. You don't need every shot to be perfect. You just need to know which role each one plays. Now this brings me to another important note about cropping. Cropping is important if you find the chaos to be too crazy at times. Now I do this often. I snap the shot, but because there are no redos in situations like this, new people constantly enter your frame all the time. The snapshot you take of a certain character becomes a new scene. Your old scene is gone. So what I usually do is go back into post and start cropping things out, and it becomes a stronger and impactful image. Take a look at some of these wide shots that I took. Starting with this shot, I took backlit near golden hour around Lisbon. There are a lot of things going on in this photo that I wasn't really happy with, particularly the trees and the distractions that didn't make the scene work. However, I did a crop that I thought was better, and it showed much more of an impact, and it shows you who the obvious main subject is in the shot. You see that it's this man walking somewhere, perhaps walking home from work or going out for a drink, who knows. This to me looks better than what I had originally. Same thing for this shot right here. Again, there's just so much going on in the scene. Trees in the way, multiple people walking across the frame. But then I did a tight crop, a 4x5 crop here to cut out all the distractions, and you know who the main subjects are now. Now this shot right here was taken as is, and I'm sure you weren't able to tell who the main subject is. There's just so many things distracting you from this photo, and as well, the guy who's swimming in the ocean is getting swallowed in the ocean. You can't really see him from this shot. And you probably wouldn't have caught that immediately if I didn't mention it to you. However, once I cropped it in, you can see that he is the main character. I cut off the trash bin and the post from the sign and gave it a new composition, which tells a much better story than what I originally shot. Pro tip, this is why it's great to have a high resolution camera, because when you crop in, you still have some resolution left over for a sharp looking image. It looks like the man is just having fun, enjoying himself on his holiday. It's overall the better shot. Number 2 is to use negative space. People love the idea of negative space. It's a clean look. It's very minimalist. Negative space is just empty space that helps your subject breathe. You use it to create mood, tension, scale, whatever the image calls for. The point is, you're not filling the frame for the sake of filling it, you're letting the silence do some of the talking. I mostly use it when I want to show isolation or make a subject feel small in a big environment, like someone walking alone near the coast in the Algarve. It gives you that feeling. Now this shot right here, taken in the Algarve, you got two people walking along the beach, but the shot isn't about them, it's about the space around them, and that's what makes it work. Most of the frame is just the ocean and the soft golden light, and that's the point. It makes the couples feel small, but it's not in a bad way, it's just honest. Like they're having this quiet moment in the middle of something that's way bigger than them. The world feels huge and there's just a tiny part of it. And that's why this shot hits. It's not loud, it's not trying too hard, and it just feels peaceful and reflective, like you're watching something from a distance. You don't always need to fill the frame, sometimes leaving space is the message. This shot right here, what I'm trying to do to show scale, it's my wife is just a speck swallowed up by the mountain. That's not a mistake, that's the whole point. We were in the New Zealand, but it felt like Middle Earth. There was fog creeping in, the air was dead quiet, jagged mountain ranges just looming over us. And you don't pose for shots like this. You just stop and go like, yeah, this is it. What I like about this photo is that it's not dramatic just to be dramatic. It's honest. It's exactly how I felt when I was there. I felt so small as a human. This wide, massive landscape. And it was quiet. When we went, it was so quiet. There was no one there. There was this humbling calmness that you get when you were just standing in front of something ancient, something that doesn't care you're there, but still let you pass through. This is the kind of shot that stays with you, not because it's flashy, but because it just feels so real, feels so true. We were the only two people there. There was no tourists, no signs, no sounds of civilization. It was just silence, and I just wanted that feeling to sit in the frame. This shot's all about negative space. Most of the frame is just sky, clean, soft, empty, but again, that's the point. The guy on the equipment machine, he's so small, almost swallowed by the openness. That scale gives it emotion. It feels quiet, detached, maybe even a little lonely. And none of this is an accident. The space around him is what makes the shot work. And sometimes less really does say more. This shot right here I took in Arizona, Yuma. There's nothing in the frame except sand dunes, the sky, and that one figure in the red. That's it. There's no clutter, no distraction, just isolation. The open sky gives it breathing room. The slope leads your eye straight to the woman. She's small in the frame, but because there's so much empty space, your attention still locks onto her. It feels quiet, it feels controlled, it feels like she's the only person for miles, and that's the point. That's what negative space does when you use it right. It amplifies presence by contrast. The next point is don't be a tourist with a camera. I done the usual Instagram banger shots. I done the Dumbo Bridge. I shot off the New York City high-rises. I shot the Golden Gate Bridge, the Sydney Harbor Bridge, the Toronto skyline as well. All the Instagrammable bangers I've done. Honestly, they look good for sure, but to me, they feel a bit empty, you know? You didn't make the photo, you just took it, and then the next guy with the camera will come to that same spot and take the exact same photo and the exact same composition. Now, is that something that you are going to be proud of? So I want to share this one time in Sydney. Everyone was crowding the usual angle, the Opera House and the Harbor Bridge, like the same shot you've seen a million times. Yeah, I took that shot too, but if you're already there, why not? You know, just take one, take the same shot as everyone else, get it for yourself and get it out of your system. And then you can move on and figure out what you can do with it, with what's next. I stepped back, used negative space, and let the Opera House feel small. And I like that. It just felt different from everything that I've seen from other photographers at this spot. I opened the shutter for about 2 minutes. The clouds got this soft, streaky texture to it. The water smoothed out, and the last bit of sunlight was dropping behind the Opera House and the bridge. I edited it to make it feel moody with a bit of weight to it. It honestly looks kind of like Voldemort and the Death Eaters are about to roll up and ruin Sydney's evening. And I haven't really seen anyone take a shot like this before. I've seen a lot of people doing this shot right here, the same composition right here that I took, but not this one. I was really proud of it until I shared it with in a Facebook group. some dude commented on it, and he said like, you don't even know what the subject is. And then he sent me a cropped version of my photo. He cut the sky, made it a 16:9 crop, and said, this is better. And then that brings us right back to one of the first things I said in this video, is to make the subject obvious. But in this case, I didn't want the subject to be obvious. I wanted the space, the stillness, the slightly unsettling mood that you get when something looks familiar but feels off. Could this crop be a better shot? Sure. I've thought about it during editing. I played with that crop, but to me, it just felt safe. It just felt like everyone else would do the same thing. And the thing is, their crop made sense to them because they seen that version of that shot 1,000 times already. So anything that doesn't look like that feels wrong. But that's the difference between taking a photo and creating one. Having a toolkit means you can respond to the scene, not just copy it. And that brings me to my final point. Know the rules and then decide when they don't matter. Once you learn the rules, like subject clarity, composition, lighting, you don't need to follow them like religion. You follow the shot, you follow the feeling. And at the beginning of this video, I told you to make the subject obvious. And by the end of the video, I'm telling you how someone tried to do that for me, and I hated the result because it wasn't my shot anymore. Photography is about building your taste, stacking your experiences. You are the artist and you get to decide what the photo says. So the question is, do you want to make the obvious crop that everyone has already done? Or do you want to take a risk and shoot something you've never seen before? Some days you shoot the chaos, some days you take a step back and breathe, and some days, yeah, you crop the hell out of it because the expression hit, but the frame didn't. The point of having all this in your toolkit isn't to use it all the time, it's to know when to use it and when to ignore it completely. Now, if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more photography tips and tricks video like this one. It will help me out a whole ton for the YouTube algorithm. And leave me a like as well. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. I've used these tips and tricks on my travel photography, and I've been seeing great results. I've been loving all the shots that I've been getting in the past. Now, yeah, I just thought I wanted to share with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more. And that's about it for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much.